Okay, hello everyone. We are today at the studio, I guess. And we're going to have a depth interview with Spoonful of Wonders, who made this awesome cat game called Copycat. And I'm really excited to talk about the game and talk to you guys in person. So let's get this started. Are you guys ready?
Ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about your game?
Yeah, of course. Copycat is a narrative driven adventure game about the meaning of home set in the suburbs. It follows the story of Dawn. She's a skeptical shelter cat whose life gets turned upside down when a jealous stray copycat steals her place in the home. And so she is now on the streets and she has to figure out a way to get back into the home. It follows themes of love and loneliness and letting go as it progresses through about 3 hours of gameplay. And it's our very first video game that we've made as developers.
Yeah, I mean, you guys must be proud.
Yeah, we're stoked.
Yeah, proud and kind of a little bit scared at the same time, in a good way. Like it's the
Yes,
first
yes,
game,
yes.
hoping that people would enjoy it. It's
Yeah, it's
our
been a learning journey for both of us.
we haven't touched any game dev tools before starting this project, so
Oh.
I guess we went against the common Reddit advice of starting small, and we just
Okay.
ventured, and so far so good, I guess.
So how long did it take you to finish the game? Or you guys are still in development, but
Yeah, we started it in like a very part-time capacity, and we
okay.
were doing it while we had our day jobs. We were working on it in evenings and weekends, and then we turned to full-time last year. So it's been about 2.5 to three, about 3 years. It's hard to say exactly. Like it's about 3 years, I would say.
Okay. So I actually read the description of the game, and then you guys mentioned that it is about the theme of being like rejected. Rejection was one of the key words that I thought was interesting. Was there like a reason why you chose that theme, or was it just something that just popped up in your head, or?
Yeah, rejection and trying to find your place in the world. I think
Mm-hmm.
both of us have a really interesting association with the word home.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up moving house every year and we moved
Mm-hmm.
between countries, whereas your association with home is a little bit different.
Yeah, for me, home is something that's not currently accessible because of the war in Ukraine. I was born and raised in Ukraine, and my family is
Oh,
still
okay.
there.
Oh
And I
no.
unfortunately cannot go back home for now.
Hmm.
So that just made us reflect as well on what home means to different people. It's like,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
is it a physical location you want to go visit, or is it your family? So it's been a very reflective process in that way.
Yeah, and so that I can that well when we're writing and developing the game, that kind of found its way into what it means to belong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and of course, the opposite of belonging is rejection. So
Right, right.
naturally, we're playing with those two thematics.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that until you guys mentioned. I guess it kind of gives you an idea like what home is. Like, is it like a physical location or is it just like where your family is? And wow, I didn't think about that. That's really deep. I really love it, actually. Wow, okay. So this is obvious. This is like an obvious question, but are you guys both like cat person? Or do you guys like all animals or just cats? Or
We definitely love cats.
Yeah, we love all animals.
oh,
I grew up with lots and lots of cats. And
mm,
so that's something we really wanted to have in the game, that
mm-hmm,
experience of bringing a pet home for the very first time. Like it's
mm-hmm.
such a special relationship, and you try so hard to get this animal to like you. And it's a little bit of a dance. You'll take two steps forward, they might take a couple of steps back,
Yeah.
but eventually you become best friends. And so that was something that we wanted to include in the beginning of the game, especially in the
Uh,
first few levels.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have a cat too, so I know like how that feels. Like you have to like entertain them enough
Mm.
to get them like you back, but then like sometimes they just like don't like you at all and just go
Yeah.
about doing whatever they want, and then sometimes they just come at you like, "Oh, what's going on?" So I guess that's like why like cats are very charming creature, I think personally.
Mm.
So do you guys have a cat now, or?
We have a family cat because our last few years we spent traveling, like pretty much
Mhm.
since COVID. We've been working remotely and changing
Mhm, mhm,
locations
mhm.
a lot. But we currently have a family cat that is staying here, and
Mhm.
if we're lucky, we may hear him or even join us. And he is the voice actor who is
Oh,
responsible for like 90% of all the meowing in the game.
wow.
He's so chill that we couldn't make him do any angry meows, so we had to
Uh-huh.
sort those. But all the nice meows are from Flame, the family cat.
And so what we did was we followed him around the house with the microphone for a couple of days to just get the wide variety of meows,
Yeah.
the
Wow.
hungry meows, the cheeky meows,
Uh-huh.
the lonely meows.
It's always hungry meows for him.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, okay. So can you tell us a little bit about your studio? Is it just you two, or is it? Do you guys have other people?
Yeah, Spoonful of Wonder is a two-person studio. We wanted to create something that was very special to us, and slowly we've started opening our doors to more and more collaborators as we continue to grow.
Yeah, we have our wonderful composer Dan Bunting on board as well. He brought all the magic and wonder with his music, so we've been working very closely with him. And we have people helping us now with localization and testing and a little bit of additional programming and 3D modeling. So yeah, a few contractors helping on that side of things as well.
And as our studio grows, we want to make sure that every project we work on has a spoonful of the sweet stuff, which is why we're called Spoonful of Wonder.
Nice. And you can't forget about your cat too. She's also part of the studio. Part of the studio. So it's like basically two-person plus a cat studio as of
Two and a
now.
half.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So can you like do you both just develop? Are you guys both like game developers, or do you guys like take part in different like sections of developing? Or
Yeah, I think we work as like a yin yang sort of relationship. Everything
nice.
I do, Costia's not great at, and everything Costia does, I'm terrible at. So we were able to like match our skill sets really well.
Yeah. So we separate we're two-person studio, so I guess we don't have a clear job title. In two-person studio, you have to do 10 different jobs. But I think our title, Sam, is our head of narrative. So she is responsible for all the beautiful story and working with voiceovers, with actors, with everything.
And the music.
And like there are 10 other things I probably forget to mention. List them all. And I'm as head of art, I'm mostly responsible for visuals and programming.
Yeah, and so our skill set came because we've worked with each other before in a creative team in advertising. So that was our day jobs that we did 10 years ago. We were responsible for creating commercials, and I would be responsible for the words, and Kostya would be responsible for the visuals. And so it was an easy jump. Not easy jump, but we've worked in a team before, so taking that jump to video game making was really exciting for us.
So I'm just curious, were there any like difficult moments, or I mean, obviously, if you guys work together the whole time, you guys maybe, I don't know, like have arguments about this perspective in the game or that. Were there any like moments that you guys remember that happened, or?
That's a great question. I think because we came up with idea collaboratively, it's never been too different. Like the image of it from the very beginning, how we imagined the game was never too different.
Perfect.
So I think we're always on the same page. And again, as working as a team in advertising for 10 years, we kind of learned to, find the compromise and trust each other with our own areas of expertise. So like, it's never been too hard to agree on something.
I think as well, because we're also a partnership, like romantically, the hardest thing is when Kostya's got his laptop up and it's like 10 o'clock at night and he's still working on the game. And I'm like, no, Kostya, put it away. And he's like, no, I need to keep working.
But that's part of it, right? When you have this like problem you're trying to solve and you know you won't be able to fall asleep because if I don't solve this like little bug, I'll just be lying there in bed thinking about it. So like I just need a few more hours to like put it to rest and then I can relax. It's just yeah.
So that's where most of our arguments come from. Overworking.
Okay. Oh, I mean, I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Because it'll probably, keep it going. because it's obviously a two-person studio, so like someone has to be, keep track of like schedules and all that stuff. So that's really good. So do you guys enjoy being like indie devs? Is there any moments that you kind of struggled in that way, like being a small studio?
Oh, that's such a good question. Creatively, we are so grateful to be doing what we do. We are able to stretch our skills. We are able to come up with a beautiful story that makes people really feel something. But the title of indie dev also means that you're running a business. So that means you're doing the accounting. It means you're keeping, everything from a lawyer point of view. We are having to pay people superannuation, a lot of contracts, things that we are not naturally quite good at to begin with. And I'd say that's where a lot of our difficulty comes from, and also learning. We've learned a lot about how to run a business over the last couple of years.
But it's also rewarding on the other hand when like you receive nice feedback and the whole project is just like us, like we built the whole thing from bottom up, and like getting good feedback about the game is so rewarding that it just like makes it all worth it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So you guys basically have to do everything. That's the hard part and the good part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sandwich.
Yeah, I guess so. So, what engine do you guys use? And do you guys like using that or?
We using Unity. It's a Unity URP pipeline. It's been good so far. Like it was a wonderful engine to pick up for the first time devs because there's lots of materials, lots of tutorials. Like, if any problem you may encounter in Unity, someone already solved it like 7 years ago or had some options.
Yes.
It's a very good marketplace for additional assets. So Unity is very well-rounded engine for us. And it works for the type of game we're building right now. Like we would be interested in exploring what Unreal Engine has to offer in the future, but so far Unity has been a good tool for us.
So, in terms of the game, I know some people said it's kind of like it must have been inspired by a game called Stray. But was there any like other game titles or medias like movies or dramas that you guys are inspired by when you're making the game?
It's a good question. We have a lot of stray comparisons from people. Usually it comes from like a top level kind of people seeing the cat as a protagonist.
Yes,
And that's obvious comparison. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
But if people dive deeper, you see that that's pretty much the only thing that we have in common with Stray is that you play as a cat. And there are lots of other wonderful cat games. But as far as the inspirations go, we have some other indies we really love.
Yeah, really love Life is Strange, Night in the Woods, Fall of Porcupine. Those are a couple we've been playing recently. Space to the Unbound. A lot of a lot of our background as well has been in like Disney movies and Pixar films, and so a lot of that like talking animal sort of stories have really because we've grown up playing these games and seeing this content, it really has driven us and guides the story that we wanted to tell.
Yeah, that's really nice. The Life of Strange, the new game is coming out, right? It was announced in Gamescom. I can't wait to play it. And also, I talked to one of the devs at Space for Unbound. I did an interview with her, and that's going to be coming out. But yeah, then if you guys were at BIC, it would have been awesome. I mean, she was there too. But yeah. So I guess it's just, I think a lot of devs, when they're making a game, they don't like get inspired by like one particular title. They would just have a bunch of stuff they have experienced or they've watched or played, and then they kind of get a little bit of this inspiration from here and there. So I think that's great because I think it feels like, motivating each other from their games, and that's why I love talking to the indie devs myself. So yeah, that's awesome. So talking about your personal lives, what are some games that you love recently, and what's your favorite game of all time?
A great question. I think I'll start with the favorite of all time, and this love kind of been reignited during this Gamescom because my favorite game of all time was Mafia: The City Lost Heaven.
Oh yeah.
And I love that game. I love the narrative, the story. I love how well it was done, and it's like it has a beautiful remaster. So when I saw the teaser for Mafia 4, I got super excited. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about it. So that's me.
Yeah, and I grew up playing Pokemon, so Pokemon is all-time favorite. I especially love the Mystery Dungeon series. I think that takes story a little bit further, and I think there's a lot of plot lines that echo a little bit in our game as well from Mystery Dungeon, because it's a story about friendship at the end of the day. And so we wanted to have friendship mirrored between our protagonist Dawn, the cat, and her owner called Olive.
Awesome. So do you guys have any game devs that you wish or to collaborate with, if you guys have ever an opportunity to do so?
Ooh, it's a great question. Like there's so many. All I can think on now is like there's so many wonderful, talented indie devs we have here in Australia, and so many ideas, so much creativity. I can even imagine what crazy stuff we can do together if everyone just like ends up collaborating on the same thing. That's a very exciting, I guess, opportunity and future for the whole market here. So I think I love what's coming from the region in general, and lots of very talented developers in the market.
Yeah. So I think sometimes collaborating with other indie devs can make something even more beautiful. Something that you've never imagined, and that can come out.
Actually, I had fun. So the game Farewell North has just come out. I'm not too sure if you heard about that, but that's a story with a dog leading the story, and it's a relationship between the dog and an owner. And that's done by the Scottish developer Kyle Banks. And I think if we were to create something equally, it would be really lovely to see how an evolution of human-animal relationship could evolve in the future.
And Kyle, if you're watching this, we hope to see you at South by Southwest Sydney in October, because his game is there. So we hope he'll come and we'll be able to meet in person.
Oh, nice. So you'll be like cat and dog all together, like leading the humans and having relationships with the
We can make a
humans.
cat dog. Yeah.
Yes, that would be awesome. I've never actually. I don't know if there's any game that has like cat and a dog as like protagonists all together.
Dual protagonists with different skill sets. Yeah, we can make it work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'll hope to see that one day.
Couch co-op. Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yes. Like just like It Takes Two, but like cat and dog version.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. So, what are your like daily routines as an indie dev?
That's an interesting one, because as I mentioned, we are like partnership and a team at the same time. So in the beginning of the process, we found it was a little bit hard to separate work from life, and we had to set up rather strict boundaries, to make sure we don't spend every day an all day working, but also have some time off and recharge a little bit. But the closer we come to the release, the more work, I guess, we're trying to put, but still trying our best to balance that with our other hobbies.
Yeah, our mornings are normally spent replying to emails, getting on top of the festival circuit, getting in touch with people who might be interested in publishing press on the game. And then in the afternoons, we spend a lot of time testing, because we're a couple of weeks out from launch now. Yeah, it's getting really exciting. So yeah, just a lot of maintenance and emailing, and keeping on top of everything.
So how do you like communicate with the potential gamers? Do you have a Discord channel or like Twitter or?
We have a few social channels. We are mostly active on Twitter. I think that's the easiest way to get in touch with us. We also have Instagram, YouTube, devlog, and a TikTok.
So come chat to us on all those. We're the people behind them. So if you ever DM us, that's who you're talking to.
Yeah, 50% chance one of it.
Yes, 50% chance in that. So like how are I don't know, like you done beta testing before, right? So were there any like or any feedbacks that you guys really like enjoyed from one of the testers that stood out?
Obviously, like the positive feedback we love, but
I think in the beginning we were making sure we were getting quite serious answers from people. We wanted to know where the glitches were, how we could improve. And then in round 2, we decided to also write what was your favorite part. And it was so rewarding hearing everyone's joy and experiencing the game and the emotional ups and downs that we didn't quite expect, because there's so many parts of the game. Everyone's going to say something different that they enjoy.
it really balances it out because like just looking at the bug reports or feedback, it's like but then something nice on the bottom, you're like, okay, yeah, we got this.
Yeah, so grateful for our testers. They all have put their hand up to see different iterations of the game, and we're really humbled to be able to bring this game back to them afterwards, all their feedback's been addressed, and package it up nicely and have them experience the game.
So was there like in particular like scene or like I don't know, I mean obviously I haven't played the game, like was there a particular scene or like I don't know if there's battles, but like puzzles or some aspect of the game that you guys think, oh, this is going to be great, everyone's going to love it? Is there like a place that you have, and then was it compared to the feedbacks you got, where is it like somehow match?
Yeah, I'm thinking the fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a couple of like fight scenes where the cat has kind of defends herself against dogs and other stray cats. And when we were making it, Kostya is very well versed on the Xbox and PlayStation controller.
So it's the mini game itself. Like you have a limited amount of time to put a random combination of buttons. And I think I went a little bit over the top, and just because like I built the code for it and I had a lot of practice doing this, I could put like 15 different buttons within like whatever 4 seconds or something like that. Like I just got really good at it, and then when we give it to people were like, it's not possible.
Yeah, like
what?
It was far more difficult. And then we've also got people at different levels playing our game, because we are a narrative-driven adventure game. We have big focus on story, so we're not necessarily going to have players that have had 20 years experience. We might, but sometimes we might have people that it might be their first or second game they're picking up because maybe their partner saw this and thought this was a nice introductory project. So we made sure that the fight scenes catered for all different accessibility levels.
Yeah, and they're also very forgiving for beginner players. Yeah, there's no necessarily fail state in the game, I guess. You can't lose everything. It's not like, super complex like roguelites or like Metroidvania. That's where you have to really try hard and replay same level hundreds of times. It's more of a narrative focused experience, so we don't want to take people out of the story by making them replay the same level over and over again.
Oh, great. So is this game like your favorite genre of game, or is it just something that was different from your favorite genre?
We started playing video games together maybe a decade ago, and we really enjoyed the two-player sort of games. Never Alone is a big one that stands out for us.
Life is Strange series, obviously, beautiful narrative. So the genre, we really enjoyed it. We grew up playing different games. Sam was a Nintendo kid, and I grew up playing on a PC, the LAN parties and all the Counter-Strike.
And then we probably both took 10 years off in our in our teens, and then we've come back in our mid-20s to play games.
Yeah.
Nice. So what's one wish listed game that you guys just can't wait to play?
Yeah, I think we mentioned it before, but I'm really excited for the new Life is Strange coming out in October.
Yes.
That would be, we'll have to disconnect for that for a couple of weeks just to finish it. I don't know how long it's going to be. Well, my new wish listed one is new Mafia game.
Oh, yes.
That'll be exciting as well. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Great. So what's your game philosophy like in where making a game? Like something that you always want to, or this is your first game, but like you kind of wanted to convey certain message, or that you wanted to kind of include this section of game development?
That's a wonderful question. I think some of our philosophy actually reflects in the name of our company. It's a Spoonful of Wonder, and
Mhm.
we are always striving to bring a little bit of wonder to our games. It's either magic or wonder of friendship, something
Mhm.
to make people feel good, to make it's a big statement to make the world a bigger place, one little game at a time. Something
Wow.
to
Yeah.
make people reflect and feel nice and wholesome. That's, I think, something we're really hoping to achieve with our game,
Yeah.
philosophy-wise.
And especially like with our project Copycat, we want to make people really like appreciate their animal, to say thank you to their animal, to give them a big cuddle, because yeah, animals make such an important part in our life, and I know that many other pet owners feel the same.
Mhm. Awesome. Okay, so this is a personal question. If you ever go back in time, would you still become an indie dev?
Ooh, that's a great question. Um, Yeah, absolutely. We have been really lucky to experience a couple of different mediums of
Mhm.
storytelling. Like we
Mhm.
started in advertising, creating stories for commercials. We then moved on to a children's book and a couple of different short films. And indie dev was almost like that next step to see, can we tell a beautiful story in a slightly more interactive environment. Of course, when we started, we thought this was only going to be a very short game, maybe like Florence, 45 minutes
Mhm.
at
Mhm.
most,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it kind of ballooned into this 3 hour project very quickly.
Yeah, I mirror what Sam's saying, that definitely would do it again. Maybe would do it a little bit differently in terms of just like a back end of things, because
Mhm.
we were learning on the job. We pretty much have never opened a Unity before we started thinking of a game. So
Mhm.
some things we would optimize in terms of the process. Do the blocking first and get your core systems in before making visuals look nice. But self-inflicted, and
Mhm.
as a
Mhm.
person who comes from the visual background, it was important for us to make it look nice, so we get excited about it and then make it work.
Mhm. Mhm.
But now we learned a few things along the way that will definitely make our next one easier, hopefully.
Yeah, we're very grateful to be in a creative medium doing work that we're both very proud of. We know it's hard to
Mhm.
get paid as a creative.
Well, that's awesome. So, is there anything else that you want to add to the interview before? Or I want to actually show the audiences the trailer because it is beautiful. Should we just watch the trailer first and then come back?
That's it.
Okay, let's do it.
I can't take you inside, honey. I already have a cat. Can I tell you a secret?
I know how it feels to be scared, angry, and all alone.
What have I done?
Okay, that was, I mean, those are beautiful. I've watched it like 10 times already, I think. But yeah, it was great. It was awesome that I was able to talk to you guys. But is there anything you want to add to the interview before we go?
Just wanted to say big thanks for having us. It means a
Oh, yeah, I
lot.
mean, no, it was great.
You noticed our game and were interested. And for people interested in our little projects, we currently have demo available on Steam
Mhm.
to play. And keep an eye out for our official release announcement date coming very soon.
All right. Before we go, I just want to add one thing. The logo is wonderfully done. Who did the logo, the Spoonful of Wonder thingy?
It's our wonderful friend Maddie. She's a graphic designer from Sydney, and she was very keen to help us with this design.
And she was the voiceover of a couple of different characters in the game too. So
Yes.
multi-talented person, Maddie
Nice.
Chan.
Awesome. So yeah, it was great talking to you, Kostia and Sam. Hope to talk to you soon, and wish you the best luck with the game. Okay, thank you for talking to me. Bye. Minimap, your ultimate gaming hub.